Have some videotape of a very tragic injury that took place recently to Robert Fuller. If we could, let's roll the tape. And Rick, this took place out of a match with the New Zealand Sheepherders, Robert Fuller and Jimmy Golden, as tag team partners.
Well, the Southeastern tag title was on the line. If you'll notice, Jonathan Boyd in the right-hand corner of your screen adjusting his arm strap and handing a little something to Ox Baker on the outside of the ring. Referee Larry Brock counts Robert Fuller out. Jimmy Golden just a little bit too late to make the save, fighting Luke Williams in the corner. Now, at this point, the match is over.
It's over, and your Southeastern Tag Team champions are the New Zealand Sheepherders at this point. And what you're about to see is most tragic indeed for the career of Robert Fuller, because unnecessary, unsportsmanlike situation which the New Zealand Sheepherders continue their attack here on Golden. Golden in a bad situation fighting both men. And of course you have that third element on the outside, Ox Baker, you have to contend with. Golden knocked out of the ring at this point. Now both of the Sheepherders keying in on Robert Fuller at this point. And here you'll see going to work on that left shoulder.
Ox Baker outside the ring, keeping Jimmy Golden, who was stunned from being hit with both championship belts. Golden on the floor fighting Ox Baker as Luke Williams gets Robert Fuller in that chicken wing. It's draping him over his leg. Now watch the right leg of Jonathan Boyd. Boyd's up on that top rope. And this is where the injury to Robert Fuller occurred. We had a paramedic in the crowd that night back in the dressing room. Nerve injuries in the elbow, a slight shoulder separation. We don't know how bad the nerve injury is quite yet. We'll find out hopefully in the next couple of days.
Certainly a setback and a tragic one in the career of Robert Fuller. A very unnecessary injury at the hands of the New Zealand Sheepherders. A lot of action coming your way in the next hour here on Southeastern Championship Wrestling. We'll be taking a look at the NWA World Junior Heavyweight Champion Les Thornton in action. Also, Freebird Michael Hayes will be taking on an opponent on today's program. The Canadian lumberjack Jos LeDuc goes against Larry Hamilton, and former Freebird Terry Gordy takes on Mike Jackson, along with an interesting personality profile. A lot of things coming your way in the next hour on Southeastern Championship Wrestling, so you stay with us. We'll also be talking with the New Zealand Sheepherders, Jimmy Golden, and a host of others. Today on Southeastern Wrestling, you stay with us, and it's about time for our first event to get underway. First match on Southeastern Championship Wrestling today, and out to join us for the commentary, Jimmy Golden. Jimmy, always a pleasure to have you out.
Thank you, Charlie. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm going to tell you, watching one of the finer gentlemen, I think, in the business today. He's a rock and roll man, and I like his style. I tell you, some of you people may not like him for his long hair, or because of where he's from, or because he likes rock and roll, or like his style, particularly in the wrestling ring. But the one thing good about the man that I like about it is he gets the job done. When the going gets tough, the tough get going, and Michael Hayes will be right in there with the best of them. He will get down and dirty and nasty, if you know what I mean, Charlie Platt.
And right now he has the left arm of Henry tied up. Of course, very tragic, the injury to your partner, Robert Fuller, Jimmy. We took a look at that videotape just a moment ago. Robert injured in that tag match for the Southeastern Tag Championship. So your problems with New Zealand Sheepherders are still not over.
That's exactly right, and they're not going to end either till I win, brother, and they have to go back to New Zealand or wherever they belong. I'm going to tell you that right now, and I'm going to tell you I appreciate the fact that I didn't have to come out here and watch that film again. It was not only losing the titles, but Robert Fuller getting injured. The Sheepherders are not interested in just winning belts. They ain't interested in hurting somebody, and especially me, the Fullers, or my father, or anybody that they can get in the ring with. And I'm going to tell you, Robert, being the man that he is, he stuck his neck out a long way, and I hated that he got hurt, but that's just part of the wrestling business. You become a professional wrestler, and you're in danger, brother. You're taking a chance every time you step into that ring that you could be injured permanently for the rest of your life, or just mediocre for, you know, indefinitely for a week or so. It's a tough business.
Very well said, Jimmy. Right now, Freebird Hayes running into a couple of...
This man don't know it right here. He's a big, strong-looking dude. I don't know his name, but he don't know what he's asking for right there, because he's getting a man started up now that will come right back at you and poke you in the eye and punch you in the nose right back. He'll get nasty with you. The guy's doing a pretty good job on Michael, but now Michael's found his spot. Here he comes back, brother. It's like I said before, I like the free birds and the rock and roll myself. I'm just an old long-haired country boy myself. And here goes Michael Hayes, baby, taking care of business. This is what I like about the man, is he will not give him a break. Once he gets started on him, brother, he will stay with the business till he gets the job done.
Hayes bringing Henry back into the ring, opening up fire.
Go ahead on with it, brother Michael. You looking good, Daddy. Yeah. That's it.
Hayes setting his man up.
Pile driver, and that's a big man that he's picking up, I'll tell you, too.
And Henry goes down with that pile driver, well executed by Freebird Michael Hayes.
Right,
1, 2, 3, and it's over with. Your winner, Freebird Michael Hayes with the pile driver. Our first match today here on Southeastern Championship Wrestling. Still to come. We have got a lot of action coming your way.
Southern born and Southern bred, and when we die, we'll be Southern dead.
Michael Hayes, winner of our first match today here on Southeastern Championship Wrestling. We'd like to ask the New Zealand Sheepherders if they would to come out and join us now. And we have some videotape highlights of the match in which Robert Fuller was injured. They did recapture the Southeastern Tag Team titles in this particular match.
Get that camera over here. This is our country, and this are our credentials. Now, there's a lot of bloody things going on that we don't like. We have been called thieves. We're supposed to steal somebody's belt. Then they got trick photography to get the damn thing on there. Look, I'm that mad about everything that's going on. It's unreal. Now you've got a film that you're going to show the people. Show them the film. Show them the film again. Okay, now you watch this. They're going to say that Ox Baker gave us something in the ring. All Ox Baker has ever given us is good advice. He's given us good advice and friendship ever since we've been here. He is the only man that we can trust. These has-beens are just like little crybabies as far as I'm concerned. They're getting hurt and they don't like it. We don't cry about getting hurt. We love it. Look, we love it. We'll walk in and let them punch us just so they hurt their fist. Look at that. Here's that idiot there trying to use illegal tactics just to get ahead in a match. Look, the man has an abdominal stretch. He lets it go. That's how stupid he is. That's how stupid this man is, Robert Fuller.
Now, watch, what's this?
What? He
now, this
shook
is what
my hand. He
about.
said, "Good luck, champions." Yeah. That's all he said to me. Look at good luck, champions. Like a dog, look at that body. 1, 2, 3. Even the referee's a little slow. That's what we've been facing ever since we've been come here. Prejudice. Hey, I'm going to tell everybody that gets in the ring with us that they're going to expect what they see right now on that TV. Yeah. We are the champions, and we are going to stay the champions forever. Champions not only in this stupid country, but champions in 37 different countries. We don't have to say we're going to try, because we don't try. We don't try at all. We do what comes naturally. We win. We don't cry if we lose. We only want to win. Now look at this. We want to maim the Americans. We told Robert Fuller and Jimmy Golden before this match, we told them on TV that we were going to hurt them. We did not lie. We are not liars, we are not thieves, and we don't use big hunks of wood to win matches. We don't use chairs. We don't use anything. What are you going to say?
What was it in the left leg then? In the left leg on the tape.
There is nothing in my leg. I am 232 pounds. I jumped off that top rope to injure that man, and that is exactly what I did. Do you understand that?
Oh, John, get
Do you understand? That is exactly what I did.
Jonathan and Luke Williams, the Southeastern champions, New Zealand Sheepherders, will be back.
Championship Wrestling comes to Birmingham's Boutwell Auditorium at 8 p.m. You'll see stars like Coco Samoa, Ted Oates, Ox Baker, and Tony Charles. Special challenge match. The original Freebird, Michael Hayes, meets his former partner, Terry Gordy. Southeastern Tag Team title. Jimmy Golden teams with the Tennessee stud, Ron Fuller, to challenge the New Zealand Sheepherders. Then, in the main event, the Southeastern title versus loser leave town when the Canadian lumberjack Jos LeDuc meets Jacques Rougeau. Monday night, yes, Monday night, Birmingham's Boutwell Auditorium. Bell time is 8 p.m. An outstanding card of wrestling in the Magic City Monday night, Birmingham's Boutwell Auditorium. The gentleman with me at the desk, Jacques Rougeau. A very, very important match for Jacques. He's put a loser leave town contract against the Southeastern title now held by the Canadian lumberjack Jos LeDuc. Before we talk to Jacques, let's have the comments of the reigning Southeastern champion, the Canadian lumberjack Jos LeDuc.
You know, Jacques Rougeau, something you have to understand. This is a man's world and this is a business. And I'm working for money. So when I go in the ring, I go in the ring with, in my mind, to go back and laugh all the way to the bank. Now, Rougeau, you want this title and you want it bad. So you have to sign that contract. If you don't get that title, boy, you're gonna have to keep on going. Not south of Birmingham, but north. That means back to Canada. And now let me tell you about something else, Rougeau. You tell everybody how good you are and how the people support you. Well, let me tell you how people support me. People support me because I am the #1, because I am the Southeastern champion, because I am American resident, because I live in USA of America, because I am good looking, because I am big, and because I am a man. Do you hear that, pimple face?
Monday night, it's all on the line, Jacques.
Well, you know, I'd like to take a minute. I don't care what the comments were of LeDuc. I just wanted to thank the people in Birmingham that since I've been going up there, they've been supporting me very hard. And I hope it's going to stay that way. And as a matter of fact, I know it's going to stay that way because Jos LeDuc, you're just a big mouth like Duggan. You came out there and we ran you out of town. We ran Duggan out of town, and I'm going to run you out of town. And I want to know one thing I want the people to know is that title means more to anything to me. The more titles you get when you're 21 years old, the best it is for your career. And LeDuc, I'm going to work 110% harder than I usually do, and I'm going to win that belt for the people in Birmingham, and I'm going to put it around my waist, and I'm going to wear it very proudly, Rick, and I promise that.
Monday night, Boutwell Auditorium. Bell time is 8 p.m.
Bad shoulder, trying to get back in shape, trying to get it back together. It seems like only a couple weeks ago when we were talking about your reuniting with Jimmy and your getting together and the troubles that you'd had in the past, and now here you are injured.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I got a lot of emotions about this. A lot of them, you know, are to be disgusted and to come across to people maybe mad, and it's the way I feel sometimes. But I guess after about a week to sit around and think about it, I can more look at it as like the pretty day. That you learn something with life, and then, you know, and you find out one day you got a problem with your leg and you don't walk so good, you appreciate it more when you do. I got a lot of things in my mind and in my heart I want to do with myself. Since I was a small boy, a lot of things I wanted to do, and I guess one of them now that's more important to me than anything else in my life is in the form of some revenge, and maybe not so much in trying to take somebody and hurt them as to try to prove something to myself and to my cousin Jimmy, who's put a lot of thought in me and said, hey, Fuller's going to be able to do great. He's going to be able to go right along with me, and what a team we're going to make. And now, you know, not to be champion, but to be sitting here like this and realizing that I'm going to be here a little while. I can work out and work real hard and do everything I can to come back fast, but I'm going to be here a little while. And
and it's just something in my life I'm going to have to live with.
Well, it sure makes it hard being the top professional wrestler that you are and being laid out with this type of injury.
Yeah. It's what I just said. It makes it hard. It's a hard life sometimes. Sometimes it's a good life, but I don't take it. It's a very pretty day, and I'm gonna breathe a lot today, and I'm gonna feel a lot better tomorrow and the next day, and I'm fixing to make myself a comeback.
Well, that's for sure. Well, life goes on, and so does our business. We'd like to thank you, Robert, and like to get on with your workout. I'd just like to join you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this match one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing in the corner to my left, weighing in at 223 pounds, Osage County, Oklahoma, Roy Welch. His opponent, 228, Manchester, England, the world's junior heavyweight champion, Les Thornton.
There you see the NWA World Junior Heavyweight Champion, Les Thornton, taking on Roy Welch. Welch from Oklahoma, and should be considered as one of the top contenders for that NWA World Junior Heavyweight title or the United States Junior Heavyweight title. What a background in the career of Roy Welch. Comes from a great family of wrestlers, one of the most prominent families in professional wrestling, Welch family. Roy's father wrestled, his grandfather wrestled, and at that weight, Roy is, what, 220 pounds?
223.
223 should be considered a top contender for either one of those titles we just mentioned. Right now, Thornton, good reversal, back into a hammerlock. Welch controlling over on the ropes, and Larry Brock calls for the break.
We might want to point out also, Charlie, that Roy Welch has been in a very intensive training program. Good fireman carry by Thornton, floats to a lateral press, only a count of one. Welch sits out of his hammerlock. As you can see, my Roy Welch is showing against the junior heavyweight champion of the world, the man of 1,000 holds, Les Thornton. That training program is paying off quite a bit.
Welch now maintaining that hammerlock on the world junior heavyweight champion. And what a match we had here on television last week, Rick, with Tony Charles upsetting the world junior heavyweight champion on television.
Oh, the United States just shows you the quality and the caliber of the competition on any day. A world champion can be pinned.
Still to come today, Jos LeDuc will be in action. Former Freebird Terry Gordy will be with us, and an interesting personality profile. So a lot coming up today on Southeastern Championship Wrestling, and looking forward in the weeks to come to stars like the NWA World Heavyweight Champion Ric Flair. A lot of action taking place, a hotbed of pro wrestling, definitely the Southeastern wrestling area right now.
Les Thornton continually working on Roy Welch, has both arms barred behind his head, using strictly legal forearm blows to break down the bridge as Welch tries to evade the pinfall. Referee Larry Brock watching very, very closely. Welch up again to the bridge. Thornton maneuvers himself over his man, trying to break down the pressure area of the bridge. This is the neck and the upper shoulders where most of the weight is concentrated. Both men jockeying for position. Thornton underhooking the arm, kicking to the midsection, a high, almost height maneuver that sends Welch to the canvas. Both men up. A test of strength between Roy Welch and the world's junior heavyweight champion. Welch powers Thornton into the ropes. The monkey flip follows with an arm drag. Roy Welch bars the arm. Les Thornton counters with the head scissors. Welch sits out into a hammerlock. Welch's strategy throughout this match seems to be the hammerlock, seems to be working on the left arm of the junior heavyweight champion. Roy Welch posting that right arm, trying to maneuver Thornton onto his back, trying to work his man over to the pinfall. A count of two. Thornton manages to bridge that right shoulder off the mat just a bit. Referee Larry Brock, another count of two. Les Thornton, a tremendous athlete, held the junior heavyweight championship of the world on several different occasions, recently re-winning it several months ago from Jerry Briscoe. Now opening up on Roy Welch with a series of forearms. The It has Welch in a predicament. That bolo-like forearm that Thornton uses very, very effectively. You'll see that style of forearm blow in many European wrestlers. The United States junior heavyweight Tony Charles uses that. Salto from Les Thornton. Thornton drives the knee into the upper chest of Roy Welch. Another high knee lift from the junior heavyweight champion of the world. Thornton tried for the rear chin lock. Welch slips away, mooks his man right back into that hammerlock that he's been concentrating on throughout the match. Roy Welch giving it everything he's got, jamming the 223 pounds into the shoulder socket and hammerlock on the junior heavyweight champion of the world, Les Thornton. A tremendous opportunity for Roy Welch, a seasoned veteran, in against the world's junior heavyweight champion. If Welch could upset Les Thornton on TV, what a feather in his cap. It'd have to catapult him into top contention. Thornton fires back to the forearms. Welch got just a little too close on that hammerlock. Thornton was able to turn around and just completely turn the match around, Charlie.
And Thornton now dropping that knee. 2 count, but Welch powers out.
Les Thornton's a very determined style of wrestler. He'll get an advantage on a man, and he won't let up the pressure, won't let up the steam for just 1 minute. Double arm suplex. Welch manages to power out at 2. Here again, Roy Welch in tremendous physical condition.
Man of 1,000 holes. The NWA World Junior Heavyweight Champion, Les Thornton. Now Welch coming off of that turnbuckle, firing back. Good. Flying body press, 2. Almost. Good move by Welch. And Thornton scooping his man up. Welch again with a good 3 count. And
Roy Welch tried for that small package. Thornton shifted his weight.
And
a small package of his own, and that was the match.
And with the assistance of the tights being pulled there, I believe that would have to enter in your winner of the match, the NWA World Junior Heavyweight Champion, Les Thornton. A lot of action to come on today's program. Our personality profile is next. Stay with us.
Week's edition of Personality Profile. With me today, one of the most amazing teams to come down to the Southeastern area in a long time, the reigning state of Alabama champion Jimmy Golden and the original Freebird Michael Hayes. Gentlemen, Michael, you've been in tag teams, well, for the last 3 or 4 years throughout a very, very difficult phase in your career. I know now you're teaming with Jimmy Golden, one of the most popular wrestlers in Alabama.
Yeah, well, you know, like tag teams is more or less always been my specialty because that's what I specialized in for a number of years. As everyone knows, the Freebirds went to all kind of heights as a tag team. And I don't mean to be monotonous or roll on. We all know what happened afterwards. And I want Terry Gordy to know that it's not over with. And matter of fact, it hasn't really begun. But, you know, sometimes, man, there's a time that you look at yourself and you look what's going on and you look at other people's needs too, and that's something that I didn't know how to do for a long time, and I really don't know how to do it well now. But being home really means something to me, man. This is the first time I've been able to go on home. I've been on tour for 5 years. And when Jimmy Golden come up to me and he said, I would appreciate it if you would lend a helping hand. He said, I understand how you feel about Gordy, but if he really wants you that bad, he'll stick around. If not, he'll leave, and that's what you want anyway. And I said, well, that's right. And besides that, Jimmy Golden and I are both from this area. The only thing that separates Alabama and Northwest Florida is a little state line, because we drank whiskey on both sides of it. Ain't that right, brother?
Exactly right. And we plan to do it again. Don't let me interrupt here, but I'd just like to say that Michael Hayes, I think, is a fine Southern gentleman. And I was in need of a partner, and I asked him to be my partner. And I know that he's had trouble with Terry Gordy, and I know he's probably going to whip Terry Gordy's butt before this whole situation's over with. But Michael Hayes is a Freebird lover, a rock and roll lover, a South Alabama lover, Florida lover. He loves a good old US of A just like me. And I needed some help with 2 goats, 2 sheep herders, and Michael Hayes is a get down, nasty, funky, rock and roll lover, and I am too. And when it comes to stepping into that ring, I'm talking about getting down and getting nasty and getting dirty with two sheep herders, two goats. That's the only way they understand it, because now my father, he's not able to be here with me. He's been sent to the hospital, and Robert Fuller. And it's a wonder that I haven't had to go. I may have to go yet. But first of all, there may be two goats that may have to go first. And I've got me a partner, and there ain't nobody else that I'd rather have, because I know Michael will stick with me 100%. And we got two goats, brother, that's going to pay some dues.
I know you haven't been here to see this, but the list of wrestlers and men that the sheepherders have sent to the hospital or shortened or ended their career has continually grown over the past couple of months here in the Southeast. They've held those Southeastern tag team titles with the exception of a 1-week period for a very, very long time, about 3 months now. Well, Jimmy, are you after the titles? Let's just come out and say it.
I'm going to tell you something. I'd dearly love to have the titles. Me and Robert Fuller held them for just a little short period of time, and then Robert got hurt. Being the man that it is, he stuck his neck out all the way, and he got personally involved. And the titles are wonderful to have, but I'm going to tell you it's gone just a little bit past the titles, and Michael will understand what I'm talking about, because my father, my kin, my blood had to suffer, and I had to sit there and watch it. Time and time again, I seen my father go to the hospital and Robert Fuller go to the hospital in pain and in agony, because the two goats are not satisfied with just winning titles. They want to hurt somebody. They want to injure American wrestlers. Anybody that they can step into the ring with, they want to hurt them. And that's what it's going to come right down to, is hurting, fighting fire with fire. And I'm going to see to it that two goats...
Talk to him, Jimmy. Talk to him, baby.
Or wherever it's at, me and this man right here is going to get the job done.
Let me tell you something, Daddy. I want you to look in my eyes and look good, because they tell no lies. Your time is coming. You're talking to somebody that knows pain and knows how to annihilate people and give them some pain. And you're down here in our area. And if you don't like the way we live, then you can just get the hell out of here, because we're going to keep living this way. And about your titles, I've held a lot of titles, Jack. And they mean money. And I need money just as much as anybody else. But I like to give pain. And when you start messing with family, you start messing with the heart. And home is where the heart's at, brother. And I'm home to stay, like I said. And I'm going to walk right beside this man, and he's going to walk right beside me. And before it's all over, we're going to walk right over you.
That's today's personality profile. Ladies and gentlemen, this match one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing in the corner to my left, 225, Tampa, Florida, Larry Hamilton. His opponent, 285 pounds, Montreal, Quebec, the reigning Southeastern heavyweight champion, the Canadian lumberjack, Jos LeDuc.
Jos LeDuc, Southeastern heavyweight champion, in action against Larry Hamilton on today's edition of Southeastern Championship Wrestling. Next week, in the studio with us, the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, Ric Flair, will be with us. A lot of things to look forward to in the weeks to come here in the Southeastern wrestling area. LeDuc starting out against Hamilton now. Hamilton giving up quite a bit of weight. Collar and elbow, and LeDuc pushing his man away. Although Hamilton gives up quite a bit of weight, some interesting points about this young athlete. 3-time state wrestling champion in high school, also collegiate wrestling champion. Larry Hamilton has the credentials. LeDuc, a big man, pushing him around right now, but Hamilton has a great deal of experience in both amateur and professional wrestling. He just completed a tour of the Carolinas, some of the toughest competition in the country in the Carolinas right now, and a very successful tour at that, Rick.
And let's not forget, during his collegiate career, he was the national AAU champion attending the University of Tampa. He'll need all of that experience in there against the Canadian lumberjack. They don't call Jos LeDuc the freight train for nothing. At 285, arm drag from Larry Hamilton that sends the Canadian lumberjack to the canvas. Jos LeDuc is a shocked look on Jos LeDuc's face.
Clamping down on that left arm, barring it up, Larry Hamilton. tell you what, he has the credentials. He knows wrestling. He's got a tough opponent, but a great chance for Larry Hamilton taking on the Southeastern heavyweight champion on television.
And as we know, Charlie, upsets do happen. Larry Hamilton, with the advantage on the reigning Southeastern champion now, trying to lever LeDuc across to his back. The same move that we saw Les Thornton, the junior heavyweight champion of the world, use just moments ago. However, Hamilton still doesn't have the bulk or the size to really use a good amount of leverage to power LeDuc like that. Hamilton's key ingredients here should be speed. Should be a varied method of attack if he hopes to upset the Southeastern champion.
Hamilton now continuing to apply the pressure on Jos LeDuc.
Hamilton all the way up in the air, a tremendous flying head scissors that sends Jos LeDuc to the canvas. LeDuc reaches for that bottom rope. Excellent ring strategy on the part of the Canadian lumberjack. Referee Larry Brock watching both men very closely, tying up collar and elbow. Another tremendous arm drag from Larry Hamilton that sends the Canadian lumberjack to the canvas. Jos LeDuc, a ring-wise veteran, may have underestimated this Larry Hamilton just a little bit. LeDuc now, both men back to their feet. LeDuc jockeying for position, trying to bring that intense power, that intense strength to bear on this Larry Hamilton. Hamilton tries to body tackle LeDuc. LeDuc shrugs it off. Hamilton, using his head, steps back, catches LeDuc with a drop kick. It didn't have the power that Larry Hamilton wanted to put behind it. And when you drop kick a mountain of a man like Jos LeDuc, you'd better have every ounce of power you've got. LeDuc. Jos LeDuc has that look of fury in his eyes. Hamilton sidestepping a lunge. LeDuc pacing around and around the ring. Take a look at this man's eyes, Charlie. The Southeastern champion is upset very much. Hamilton still keying in on that left arm, still maintaining that arm bar. LeDuc powers this man into the rope. Hamilton, a cross body block that gets him a 2 count on Jos LeDuc. Both men into the ropes. Brock calls for the break. Larry Hamilton has been using that arm bar strategy to keep the Canadian lumberjack off his feet. Very, very successful throughout the match. There's an old saying, Charlie, that on the mat, every man is the same size. Both men to their feet. LeDuc up with that one-arm backbreaker. That move has sent several wrestlers to the hospital. Jos LeDuc drops that 285 pounds down in a lateral leg drop. Larry Hamilton in intense pain from that one-arm backbreaker that LeDuc uses so well. Jos LeDuc driving Larry Hamilton's weight into the small of his back, up with the Canadian bear hug. Jos LeDuc bringing every ounce of that strength to bear on young Larry Hamilton. 285 pounds of steel and muscle. Driving into the small of the back at Larry Hamilton. Charlie, I don't think there's much way he can last much longer. That's it. Larry Hamilton submits to the bear hug of Jos LeDuc. And your winner is the reigning Southeastern heavyweight champion, the Canadian lumberjack, Jos LeDuc.
LeDuc, the winner of our match, third match today here on Southeastern Championship Wrestling. Still to come, former Freebird Terry Gordy will be in action. I'd like to ask the U.S. Junior Heavyweight Champion, Tony Charles, to come out and join us for just a moment, if he would. Tony, you were faced with a very unusual situation here last week on this program. And the situation was that Les Thornton came out and openly challenged you to put up his NWA World Heavyweight Championship in the arena But because of contracts not being signed, Mr. Thornton went back on his word. You actually beat the NWA World Junior Heavyweight Champion, and yet because no contract was signed, he went back on his word. You're not the champion today.
Well, he would have been a fool not to go back on his word, actually. He changed his mind. He said the reason why he changed his mind is because he thought he was going to get beat, and I beat him.
But in his favor, no contract was signed for the NWA World Junior Heavyweight Championship. Let's take a look at the action as it took place from the arenas here in the Southeastern Wrestling area. Tony Charles, U.S. Junior Heavyweight Champion, taking on the NWA World Junior Heavyweight Champion, Les Thornton. Tony?
Well, here again, he's working on my leg, or he did work on my leg, and he's going for the finish. He's a little bit overconfident, and I almost pinned him quite a few times here. You see, the reason why he wants my belt is to get rid of the USA title. And he's not going to do it. He's never going to do it. Now, this week, he's been put to the test. He must defend his title because it's been signed by the NWA. It's under contract now, so he must defend his belt. And I can assure you that I'm going to do my very best to win that title and take both titles home.
It's very important to you because, Tony, you once held that NWA World Junior Heavyweight Championship.
Well, I've held it twice, so it's going to be number 3 for me, as Muhammad Ali says, number 3, holding 3 fingers up. And it'll be a great pleasure for me to bring the title back to this territory. Now, we must talk about this match now a little. You see, he's working on my leg. He's overconfident. That's the only thing he thinks of right now is my leg. My leg's hurt, but the thing is, I'm waiting for him to make that one mistake, and eventually he does it. That's the mistake right there.
Count of 3. It was a successful title defense. By the way, Tony's United States Junior Heavyweight Championship was on the line in this match, and a successful title defense it was.
Our congratulations to you.
He's being forced to defend his title tonight, and that's exactly what I want.
The U.S. Junior Heavyweight Champion, Tony Charles, and we'll be back with more action on Southeastern Wrestling in just a moment.
A triple main event. You'll see Southeastern tag team match. Jos LeDuc and Jacques Rougeau, the Southeastern title versus loser leave town. And the gentleman with me at the desk meets a man that he has had more than his share of troubles with over the past 6 or 7 months. His former partner, Michael Hayes.
Cool Breeze, you know something? You know, I don't like nobody interfering in my business because I take a lot of pride in what I do. And what I do is good. Because I know what I'm a-doing when I step out in that squared circle. I know how to get down, and I know how to get nasty and mean, like it takes to win a match nowadays. Michael Hayes, you know, just like Cool Breeze said here, I've had a lot of run-ins with you, and I've traveled up and down a lot of roads with you before, boy. But right here in Birmingham, it's all going to come to a head. I'm going to make sure of that, Michael Hayes, because you've interfered in my business one too many times. And you're going to stay out of my business because my business means a lot to me, boy, and I don't need nobody interfering in my business. Because that's what puts my bread and butter on my table to feed my wife and to feed my kids. And when you come messing with that, Jack, you're messing down the wrong alley. I'm going to make sure that you learn a little lesson, Michael Hayes, that you learn to keep your nose out of my business.
Monday night, Birmingham's Boutwell Auditorium, the feud that's rocked the South. Michael Hayes and Terry Gordy in a special triple main event all-star card. Monday night at Birmingham's Boutwell Auditorium, Jimmy Golden and Ron Fuller meet the New Zealand Sheepherders. Jos LeDuc faces Jacques Rougeau, title against loser leave town, 8 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, this match one fall with a 10-minute time limit.
Hey, let's get the troubles over here. Hey, Cool Breeze. You know, I just want you to know, and all the other people out there that think they're so cool, I just want you to listen up for a second. You know, I'm here for one reason and one reason only, and that's to collect a few of these titles around here. And you know, I've noticed something. I've noticed that there's been a lot of ducking and dodging. I'm talking about people like Jimmy Golden, and I'm talking about people like Michael Hayes. And speaking of Michael Hayes, you know, he says he wants to be of help to Jimmy Golden. Well, you know something? He's nothing but a bald-faced liar, man. The only reason he says that is because he wants to get out of facing me right in the middle of the ring, baby. That's it.
Comments of Terry Gordy. Let's go back to the ring for the introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing in the corner to my left, 201 pounds, Birmingham, Alabama, Mike Jackson. His opponent now entering the ring, 275, Chattanooga, Tennessee, Terry Gordy.
Terry Gordy taking on Michael Jackson. Mike Jackson, of course, giving up quite a bit of weight in this particular match, but a scrappy man inside that squared circle. Quite agile, dodging his opponent. Collar and elbow from behind with good reversal by Gordy. Jackson now scrambling back.
Terry Gordy, 275 pounds, a giant of a man. This man in his short career has held more titles in more regions. Mike Jackson, the cross-body block from the second rope. A count of 2 from referee Larry Brock.
Jackson with a side headlock now on Terry Gordy.
Terry Gordy has probably held more championships in a shorter amount of time than any man in recent years in professional wrestling. Mike Jackson up and over his man. Gordy hung on to the ropes to counter Mike Jackson. Jackson up with a drop kick. Semi-ineffectual on Terry Gordy. A flying head scissors. It crashes Gordy to the canvas.
And Jackson with a good showing against former Freebird Terry Gordy. Gordy pulling away, holding on to those ropes, and Jackson missing with that flying drop kick.
Terry Gordy waiting for the right opportunity. Just one step ahead of his man. Jackson, a tremendous slip from the head of Terry Gordy. Gordy waiting for his man with a high field throw. Jackson just a little overconfident, I think.
Gordy catches his man coming off of those ropes. Gordy taking Jackson head first into the turnbuckle. And again, Jackson.
Terry Gordy showing why wrestling is as much mental as it is physical. Thinking ahead, always thinking, trying to stay one step ahead of his opponent. And with a man like Mike Jackson, that entails quite a bit of thinking.
Jackson being hurdled out on the floor by former Freebird Terry Gordy. Gordy pacing the ring. Certainly a brutal individual, Terry Gordy.
Referee Larry Brock told him to count. Jackson trying to make it back on the ring apron. Gordy continues to fire away at his man, not giving Jackson the chance to get out of the ring.
Gordy now coming out on the floor.
Terry Gordy, a field throw on Mike Jackson on the studio arena floor. Mike Jackson in obvious pain. Gordy literally hurls his man over the top rope back into the ring.
Gordy now taking Jackson up. Full body slam. Crashing down. It's over. It is over. And there you see the power and strength in Terry Gordy, your winner of a match here today on Southeastern Championship Wrestling. And we'll be back in just a moment.
Wrestling comes to Birmingham's Boutwell Auditorium at 8 p.m. You'll see stars like Coco Samoa, Ted Oates, Ox Baker, and Tony Charles. Special challenge match. The original Freebird, Michael Hayes, meets his former partner, Terry Gordy. Southeastern Tag Team title. Jimmy Golden teams with the Tennessee stud Ron Fuller to challenge the New Zealand Sheepherders. Then, in the main event, the Southeastern title versus loser leave town when the Canadian lumberjack Jos LeDuc meets Jacques Rougeau. Monday night, yes, Monday night, Birmingham's Boutwell Auditorium. Bell time is 8 p.m. A triple main event Monday night in the Magic City Boutwell Auditorium at 8 p.m. The gentleman with me teams with his cousin, the Tennessee stud Ron Fuller, to challenge the reigning Southeastern Tag Team champions, the New Zealand Sheepherders.
This is starting to get a little ridiculous, Golden. First of all, Daddy goes to hospital. Secondly, your stupid partner, Robert Fuller, goes to hospital. Now his brother, Ron, is going to try and revenge him. Golden, you're the stupid one, not Ron. Because if we lose, Ron gets a title that he couldn't get if he even tried all day long. He tried with the world champion, and nothing happened. Nothing happened. All your family are born losers, and you're going to lose because we're going to be the champions, and we're going to be the champions forever. Hey, Golden, just let me tell you one little thing. You can get whoever you like. Ron Fuller, to me, is nothing. He only wrestles 4 times a year in tag matches. We wrestle every day. Every day in tag matches. And we are here to stay.
Jimmy, Monday night, it's you and the stud.
Well, I want to tell you something, too, Goats. You've been looking for yourself a real battle and a real war, sonny boy. Well, you're going to get it now. I got a man that's going to be on my side, and he stands up loud like this. I have to look up to him. You know what I'm talking about? 6'9" and about 270 pounds. Last week up there in Birmingham, Alabama, he got himself a real raw deal with the champion, Ric Flair, and he's burning about it. Another thing that he's burning about is his brother had to go to the hospital account of you 2 Goats. Well, I'm going to tell you something, brother. He didn't have nothing that he wanted to say about this on this interview because he is breathing fire, Daddy. I talked to him about it, you're right. But he's not here with me, but he will be with me in Birmingham, Alabama at the Boutwell, Daddy. And you going to get your fight. You going to get your battle that you've been looking for, sonny boy. Me and brother Ron Fuller's coming out there, and you talking about being a tag team. Me and this man was born being a tag team. The whole Fuller family, the Welch family, the Golden family, we know all there is to know about wrestling and fighting, Daddy. And when it comes down to it Monday night in Birmingham, Alabama, you 2 Goats is going to be smoking. The back of your butt is going to be smoking, Daddy.
Moments of Southeastern Championship Wrestling today. Briefly reviewing what's taken place. Michael Freebird Hayes, your winner of the first match on today's program. Les Thornton was successful in defeating Roy Welch.
And the Canadian lumberjack Jos LeDuc posted another win, this time over a tough contender in Larry Hamilton.
Next week on this program, you'll be seeing live with us the NWA World Heavyweight Champion. That is Ric Flair. And also on next week's program, an update on the situation, the injury of Robert Fuller, the separation in the elbow and slight separation of the shoulder. I talked with Robert personally, Rick, this morning, and the type injury he's confronted with should keep the man out of professional wrestling. According to the doctor, he should stay out of the ring for about a month. But I talked to the most determined Robert Fuller I've ever seen this morning, and that injury could keep him out less time than is expected by the physicians.
It runs in the Fuller family. If you remember when Ron suffered the injury to his knee, he was back into the ring and fighting world-class competition long before the doctors recommended that he go back. And somehow I think that spark is there in Robert Fuller, too.
We appreciate all the dream match mail that's coming into our studios to the office of Southeastern Championship Wrestling. If you have a dream match you would like to see, put it on a postcard or write us a letter to Dream Match in care of Championship Wrestling, P.O. Box 1089, Dothan, Alabama 36301. And we will keep that on file, and on our next dream match, that match will be considered.
Most definitely. Not only a dream match, but an entire dream card of wrestling. Your favorite stars, the matches that you want to see. Post Office Box 1089, Dothan, Alabama.
Southeastern Championship Wrestling, definitely the hotbed of professional wrestling in the United States today. And today we have the U.S. Welcome to South.